What's going on, everyone? So the big name in the draft for the San Antonio Spurs obviously is Stephon Castle. He is now the foundation piece added to Victor Wembanyama. He's a guy that can play, really either guard spot. I don't really like the idea of him at the point guard. I see a lot of Spurs fans throwing out like, oh, he's probably going to play point guard. I don't really like that. I don't think he's a true playmaker. I think he's a guy that can make plays, right? He can initiate the offense. He's a guy that can find the open man, make plays, but he's not really a true playmaker. And the Spurs keep trying to turn these guys that can make plays and trying to make them a playmaker, and it's just not really working, in my opinion. But regardless, whatever happens with Castle, I think he's going to be huge for the Spurs. I think he's a guy that is going to be excellent on both sides of the basketball. He's a guy that in 3+ years you could look back and go, oh, he was the best player in that draft. Like, seriously, he could be the best player in the 2024 draft. He is that good. And I'm excited for his future, Spurs' future, and him alongside Victor Wembanyama, right? But another name that, not under the radar for Spurs fans, but for everyone else, is Harrison Ingram. Now, the San Antonio Spurs were able to pick up Harrison Ingram with the 48th pick in the draft, and I think this is huge. So I did a whole video on Juan Nunez and explained kind of the situation going on with him and why he's not playing next year, but go check out that video after this video if you haven't already seen it. But Harrison Ingram, I think, may have been a huge steal for the Spurs. Right? I mean, this is a guy, 21 years old, so there's plenty of room for growth, upside, and potential. Comes from a very prestigious program in UNC, right, North Carolina, and he was a big piece and a big factor there. He's got good size, good strength, good athleticism, right? He's not a perfect player. I mean, there's a reason he fell to 48th, but he's a guy that I think for a team that is looking to grow and develop and build this foundation for now in the future and kind of be this young team that can potentially, develop into the next great dynasty or next great team alongside Victor Wembanyama. I think bringing in Harrison Ingram was a great acquisition. I think he's in many ways a Spurs guy, very unselfish, moves well without the basketball, a guy that can, make the occasional play for others, not really a playmaker, right? But he's a guy that can, again, kind of keep the ball moving. I think he'll fit very nicely into the Spurs system and the way that Greg Popovich likes to play basketball and move the basketball. This is a guy that I think has a real all-around game that can really complement just the rest of the pieces on the Spurs team. Right? This is a guy that, he's more likely than not starting out the gate, not more likely than not starting year one, but he is a very good rebounder for his size, and a guy that could go get buckets. This is a guy that averaged 11 with 7 rebounds and 2.9 assists, got after on the defense side with a steal a game. I really like what he brings to the table for this team. And another thing I really like is you're starting to see between Ingram and Castle, the Spurs are starting to add those versatile perimeter guys that can defend, do the dirty work, right? Play both sides of the basketball. Because you have what may already be the best defensive player in the league in Victor Wembanyama, which is crazy to think about as a rookie. But I mean, that's the reality. I mean, you could have made a very compelling argument for him to win Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie, right? I think he probably wins it next year. But as you saw with the Spurs last year, you need more than just Victor Wembanyama on the defensive side of things. But now you start adding in a Castle, who's a versatile defensive guy that can defend multiple positions and out on the perimeter and switch and, add in a Harrison Ingram. Again, another guy, good size, good length, can defend and play multiple positions, can defend out on the perimeter, can switch. Right? Now you're starting to really piece together some quality pieces that kind of come in. And Harrison Ingram coming out as a junior, you kind of get, you're getting a little more adult, right? You're not getting some 19-year-old kid that comes in that thinks he's, a stud and best player ever, right? He came as the 48th pick in the draft, right? And look, the Spurs have a history of nailing second round picks, right? Spurs have a history of finding those real diamonds in the rough and being able to find that guy that can contribute. When other teams are like, he's a big development guy. Spurs are a team that is known to be able to develop those guys. So I do really like the fact that you're really starting to see the Spurs begin to piece this roster together, in my opinion. I do think that the Spurs kind of, obviously you need some young talent that you can grow and develop, especially with the new CBA, right? Especially with such a young team. But I'd also like to see the Spurs kind of push their chips in a little more. Like to see the Spurs, maybe go get some more veteran guys to kind of help expedite this thing a little bit, right? But regardless of whether they decide to do that or not, I do think bringing in Castle, I think bringing in Ingram, I think it just gives you another guy that can really just do multiple things and defend in multiple positions, and that's what they really need, right? They really need this versatile defensive wings, and that's basically what the league is today in a lot of ways. Just who has the most impactful defensive wing guys. But it's not just about throwing bodies and guys out there on the basketball court, obviously, right? I think that's what's the beauty of Ingram is, they even said it in the broadcast, he is the Spurs got a Spurs guy. And I really do believe that. I think that is probably the best way to explain it. The Spurs got a Spurs guy. Spurs got a guy that can come in and play whatever role is asked of him, can play in what, all the various systems that Pop likes to run. He's a guy that's going to keep the ball pushing. He can defend on the other side, hit the open shot, put the ball on the deck a little bit. Again, he's a little bit of a project. I don't expect him to come out the gate and be, a world beater, but I do think he's a guy that right out the gate you'll be able to see some of those gems. I think you'll be able to see some of the, okay, this guy might actually be something. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What'd you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts on what's your thoughts on the Spurs draft period? Do you like the picks? Which one is your favorite? What do you think of Ingram? Do you think that he's a guy that, yes, he's going to be able to come in, got a solid defensive kind of 3-and-D wing, right? In the modern era, that's what you really need. Do you really like this pickup? Do you think no, he's not the guy, right? I really liked the Spurs draft, right? I thought that they kind of got the guys that they wanted. Trading the 8th pick, a little questionable, right? Considering, especially for a team that their star seems to want to win right now. But and just in general, I think that the Spurs, I thought they had a very nice draft. I think they got their draft and stash point guard that is a real playmaker that can come in in a year and really make an impact. They got their running mate alongside Victor Wembanyama that can be that establishment piece, be that guy that grows alongside Victor, and really have an impact on both sides of the basketball. Then got another just quality prospect that I think can again be another two-way guy on the Spurs roster that can do multiple things and kind of fit in seamlessly into the system in which the Spurs want to run. I thought that they had a very good draft, and I was genuinely surprised. But how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you feel the same way? Do you not? Whatever it is, however you feel, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.